Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
The New York Mets are on the air.
Meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife, guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really rocking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the MPH Mets from New York town.
From Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, the New York Mets meet the San Francisco Giants, the National League champions, in the second of a three-game series. Tonight's game brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry and Viceroy Cigarettes. Well, hi, everybody. This is Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Tonight in San Francisco at Candlestick Park, it is the Candlestick Park wind at its very worst. A 40-mile-an-hour wind sweeping a heavy fog bank across the playing field, and it is a rather chilly night. Right now, Whitey Lockman and Casey Stengel are at home plate with Jocko Conlon's umpiring team. Now, here are the Giants taking the playing field. The starting pitchers in tonight's game for the New York Mets, Galen Cisco, and for San Francisco, Billy Pierce. We'll check the batting orders and the lineups in just a moment. Right now, though, a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I was called on the steps at a dance one night. Swing your partner and circle to the right. I took a breather after a while. The belle of the ball walked up with a smile.
Ah, you smoke filters, I see. The regular kind are too strong for me.
Yep, I got a Viceroy just for you. You've heard about the filter.
Tastes good, too.
Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Well, we set out the rest of the dance.
Change your partner.
Not a chance.
That's right.
Now, I want you to know, and I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong.
Some too light.
But Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I know one thing. Every ball hit in the air here tonight in the early part of the evening while this wind is blowing this way is going to be like the final scene of the old serials we used to see on Saturday afternoons at the movies. Charlie Neal will be leading off, followed by Ron Hunt, then Cliff Cook, the right fielder, Frank Thomas, the left fielder, Jim Hickman in center field, Eddie Kranepool at first base, Chris Cannizzaro behind the plate, Al Moran at short, and Galen Cisco on the mound. Alvin Dark's lineup will have Davenport at third, Felipe Alou in right, Willie Mays in center, Willie McCovey in left, Orlando Cepeda at first, Ed Bailey catching, Joey Amalfitano at second base, and Jose Pagan at short, followed by Billy Pierce. Charlie Neal, batting at .224, stepping in to lead off against veteran left-hander Billy Pierce. Billy finally lost a game here in Candlestick Park in the early part of this season. He had won 14 straight without a setback. First pitch is hit high in the air into the fog out in shallow right center. Backing out is the second baseman, Amalfitano. He has it for the out. 40-mile-an-hour wind sweeping the fog across the field from left toward right. Fog is not dense enough so that the ball cannot be followed right now. They have never had a game postponed here as the result of fog. They have had a game held up for a period of about 30 minutes. Now here is Ron Hunt. Ron up among the top hitters in the National League with an average over 300. A little scrapper hitting at 309. The right fielder, Cliff Cook, out on the on-deck circle. Now the pitch on the way. A check swing grounder hit toward Amalfitano. He digs it out of the dirt, pegs on to Cepeda. There are 2 men away. So Billy Pierce on 2 pitches has retired 2 hitters. That boy just lost his hat. That wind really took it away from him. 2 outs and nobody on now. That brings up Cliff Cook. Veteran southpaw Billy Pierce on the mound. Billy this year has won 1 while losing 3. Now the hitter is Cliff Cook, and the pitch is over at the knees. Strike 1 call. Cliff had a home run and a single and drove in 2 of the 5 runs scored by New York in yesterday's game. We've had a last-minute change in the New York lineup, and Duke Snider is going to be batting cleanup, replacing Frank Thomas. Thomas has been bothered by his arm lately. A space caught by Jim Davenport. A whistling low liner, and Davenport lunged off to his glove side and made the grab. That ball was really ripped by Cliff Cook. Side retired in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. The score in the middle of the first inning, the Mets nothing, and the Giants coming to bat. Duke Snider is playing left field in place of Frank Thomas. That is a last-minute change. Jim Davenport leading off, and the pitch by Galen Cisco is inside, ball 1. Frank is still being bothered by his left arm. He fell on the shoulder in making a diving catch at Milwaukee, and it's been bothering him some. Swing and a miss. He took a cortisone shot for it yesterday, and it was still bothering him some today. He had hoped to try and play tonight, but at the last moment, it decided against it.
Of course, there's another factor, too, Bob. The wind blowing to right field could be a real aid to Duke Snider.
That's very, very true. It's really whipping across there. Bounced foul. You know, it was impossible, Ralph, for Frank to tell really how he felt tonight because the wind is so strong here tonight they had to pass up batting practice. Next pitch on the way, a beauty of a changeup that's over for a call, strike 3. Davenport hitting at 246, caught looking. That brings up Philippe Alou. You hate to keep talking about the weather, but when the weather is as adverse as we have tonight, it is a real key factor in the ball game. Pitch by Galen Cisco is over for a call strike. Breeze not nearly as strong, but still blowing from left across toward right. Check swing and a ground ball. Craneville to his right makes the play. Fires to Cisco out at first base. Good play by Eddie Craneville. He had to range wide to his glove side to handle the check swing grounder hit by Philippe Alou. Now there are 2 away, nobody on. Here comes Willie. Willie hitting 269. Had 3 for 3 in the opener yesterday, including a 2-run homer. His home run was a line drive through a strong wind and over the wire fence in left field. For Willie, his 6th home run of the year. Giants as a team are hitting a lot of them. Call strike on the outside corner. Philippe Alou and Orlando Cepeda lead the Giants in home runs with 7. Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, and Ed Bailey, all 3 have each socked 6. Every team that has played the Giants this year has left the scene of battle commenting on the hitting power. High fly ball hit deep to left field, out by the fence, going, gone, a home run. Lead 1-0 on the home run by Willie. A towering fly into the wind and easily clearing the fence in left center field. Well, Willie is off to quite a series against the Mets. He now has 4 for 4, including 2 home runs. He beat Galen Cisco a ball game in the Polo Grounds with a 3-run homer in the first inning. first inning has been a real bugaboo for Galen. Outside and high, it's ball one. He got beat in the first inning of a game in Milwaukee when he walked two and then Gabrielson homered. He walked two and then Mays homered in a game in New York. Fly ball is high in the air to deep center. It's way out there. Hickman's back to the fence. He jumps, and he can't make a play. It is gone for a home run. McCovey with a home run over the center field fence, 410 feet away. Hickman went back to the fence, jumped as high as he could, but it was beyond his reach. Now the Giants lead 2-0 on two prodigious home runs by Willie Mays and Willie McCovey. And now the Giants have four men on the team with 7 home runs. The hitter is Orlando Cepeda, and the pitch outside and low, it's ball one. That home run ball has given Galen Cisco some real problems. Now here's the windup. In comes the pitch. Fastball inside. Ball 2-0. Gracie Stallard given the sign now to start warming up in the New York bullpen. Foul ball back toward the press box and out of play. Now the windup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 2-2. Galen now has been tagged for 7 home runs in 8 ball games. 7 home runs in 33 innings. Now the pitch to Cepeda outside, and we have a full count, 3-2. Willie Mays hit a home run over the left field fence. Then Willie McCovey hit one over Jim Hickman's head and over the center field fence. Now Galen Cisco delivers 3-2, and it's over the head of Orlando Cepeda and goes all the way to the backstop. He's around first base. He'll hold up there as Cannizzaro runs it down against the screen. So on the 3-2 pitch, a wild one by Galen Cisco. Cepeda goes down to first on the walk, and that brings up Ed Bailey. Here's the pitch on the way. And the curve is inside and low. 1 ball and no strikes on Ed Bailey. You know, the wind had almost completely subsided as they resume play. And right now it's blowing as hard as it blew at any time. It's going across there about 40 miles an hour. It is really whipping across the diamond right now. Now Galen Cisco up in pitching position. Delivers. A swing and a miss by Ed Bailey. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'll tell you one thing, they could save themselves some money in the scientific field out here. They don't have to construct any wind tunnels. They can conduct those tests right here at Candlestick Park. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ed Bailey. He has really been thumping the ball for the Giants, hitting at .322. Outside and high, and Chris had to straighten up to grab that one. 2 balls and a strike. On opening day, it was figured that Tom Haller, who was the #1 backstop last year, would again be the #1 backstop this year. But Ed Bailey broke into the lineup and got hot, and has wielded such a hot bat that Alvin Dark has certainly not been able to take him out. Now the 2-1 delivery. Breaking ball over for a call strike, 2-2. On an interesting day in San Francisco this afternoon. You can take a stroll around the city wearing a short-sleeve sports shirt, and tonight a top coat isn't enough. Pitching 2-2. Curve is over, strike 3 called, and Bailey is out. In the first, San Francisco 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. At the end of 1 inning, the score, the Giants 2 and the New York Mets nothing. Now Duke Snider will be up against Billy Pierce as we move now to the second inning. Giants lead 2-0 on home runs by Willie Mays and Willie McCovey. Billy Pierce retired New York in order in the first inning. Although Cliff Cook hit the ball hard, a low liner that Davenport made a good play. Here's the windup pitched by Billy Pierce. A high pop-up. This is back toward the backstop. Ed Bailey coming back may have a play. He does. Makes the catch. Sally Hemus had the infielders and the backstops out, and he hit what seemed like a million pop-ups to him before the game started to try and get him accustomed to this strong wind for this evening. One away and nobody on. That'll bring on Jim Hickman. Eddie Cranepool on deck, and then Chris Cannizzaro. Game tomorrow starts at 1 o'clock here in San Francisco, so we'll be on the air 5 minutes before the game, or 3:55 New York time tomorrow afternoon. Now the windup pitch to Hickman, inside and low. Jim hitting at 269. He's been bringing that batting average up. He has changed his batting stance a little bit. Stance squared off, and he's standing closer to the plate now, and he's been hitting the ball hard. Fastball over, a strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hickman riding a 5-game hitting streak. Now the veteran left-hander delivers. Curve is swung and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Giants 2, Mets nothing. We're in the top of the second. Now Billy Pierce over the head. Around comes the arm. The swing and a miss. He struck him out. Two outs, nobody on. That'll bring up 18-year-old Ed Cranepool.
Batting 6, number 21, first baseman Ed Cranepool.
Here's the pitch on the way. We may have a no-hitter tonight. We'll check on it. In view of the fact that the final score is 4-1, it may or may not be a no-hitter for Don Nottebart, but we'll follow through on our Western Union Sports Ticker report and determine whether or not Nottebart has chalked up a no-hitter. Cranepool holding up. The ball bounces foul off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has been pitching outstanding ball for Houston. Houston beating the Phillies tonight 4-1. And our Sports Ticker line score reads Philadelphia 1-run, no hits, but that may or may not be true. We'll follow up on it. Now the pitch on the way. Fouled back toward the press box. This is out of play. Don Nottebart and Don McMahon, both acquired from Milwaukee, have been outstanding pitching pickups for Houston. A swing and a miss, and struck him out with a high breaking ball. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. At the end of an inning and a half, the score, Giants 2 and the Mets nothing. Now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
We're the Brothers Four singing for Viceroy. Wherever you go,
That's right.
any old place,
That's right. You'll see the pack with the V, and that's a Viceroy.
then open the pack,
That's right.
take you a light.
That's right. You'll taste the taste. That's right. And that's a Viceroy. Take my advice, boy, and try a Viceroy. It tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste.
Not too strong
That's right.
and not too light.
That's right. Viceroy's got the taste. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Gonna tell you what we see, gonna tell you what we hear when we travel all over this land.
Oh, yeah. North and south, east and west, they're smoking the Viceroy brand.
It tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste.
Not too strong
That's right.
and not too light.
That's right. Viceroy's got the taste. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Viceroy.
Now the last half of the second. Joey Amalfitano will be leading off for San Francisco.
San Francisco, number 14, second baseman Joe Amalfitano.
Regular second baseman Chuck Hiller has been sidelined with a fracture of his wrist. Inside, ball 1. Giants will make their next appearance in New York in mid-July. They're in for night games on the 17th and 18th of July. Now Galen Cisco delivers a blazer on the inside edge of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joey Amalfitano is a young veteran, right-hand batter. And the breaking ball dips outside and low. 2 balls and a strike. Jose Pagan waiting on deck, and then the pitcher, Billy Pierce. 2-1 delivery. Inside, ball 3. The early part of the season, it has been Galen Cisco's history that he's had trouble in the first inning or two. But after that, he has pitched very well. Ball 4 outside. Amalfitano draws a walk. Now the hitter is Jose Pagan. Jose established himself as a fine National League player as the regular shortstop over the entire route last season. Giants won the pennant with a very young double play combination. Eddie Cranepool holding against Amalfitano. Nobody out. The pitch by Cisco. He's around. The bunt doesn't offer. And it breaks outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Charlie Neal in close at third looking for the bunt. They look for the bunt. Here comes the pitch. There goes the runner. Hit and run. Slow grounder to shortstop. Moran will have to gun to first. In time, getting Pagan. And moving on to second goes Joey Amalfitano. Well, right now would be a good time to relax with a Viceroy cigarette. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now the hitter is Billy Pierce. Amalfitano moving to second on the hit and run play. Slow grounder, and Moran had only 1 play, and he had to hurry to get that one. Pitch thrown by Cisco. Ground ball raked slowly on the right side. Ron Hunt digs it out of the dirt and pegs on to first in time for the out. Moving over to third goes Joey Amalfitano, and that'll bring up Davenport. Giants have not only Billy Pierce, but Billy O'Dell, who won 19 last year, taking a starting turn. So with those right-hand batters coming up, you can imagine there are a lot of shots hit down toward Davenport, and he really handles them. Charlie Neal has taken to third base. The old cliche would go like a duck is taken to water. 2 outs, a runner on third. Galen Cisco eyes Amalfitano. Now the wind-up and pitch. Base hit on a line to short, and Moran catches it to retire the side. Kind of a soft line drive, not really hit too hard. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of 2, the score, the Giants 2 and the New York Mets, nothing. Right here, let's pause for station identification.
810 on your radio dial, WGY Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. The time is now 28 minutes past 12.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. Matt Winnig, our statistician, has now confirmed, Ralph, that it's a no-hitter in Houston, Texas tonight for Don Nadabart as the Colt 45s down the Phillies 4-1.
That's right, Bob. The 1 run scored on a 2-base error and a sacrifice fly. The sacrifice fly for the run batted in was made by Don Hoke. Well, Nadabart was picked up for cash, so that was quite a trade for the Colt 45s. Here we go right here in the top of the third, and the first pitch by Billy Pierce is just a little bit outside for ball 1. Nadabart with that win, now 5-1 for the Colt 45s. That's a pretty good acquisition. The Colt 45s also picked up a real good relief man in Don McMahon. Now Pierce, the left-hander, comes back to the plate, and it's outside for ball 2. The batter is Chris Cannizzaro. Chris batting for the first time in this game, bats from the right-hand side. Billy Pierce now through 2 innings has pitched perfectly. He has yet to give up a base hit. Here's the windup and the pitch back. Curveball breaking over at the knees for strike 1. The only loss for Nadabart was given by the New York Mets. Now Pierce comes back to the plate, 2-1, and he gets strike 2 for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, when you look back at the Milwaukee Braves, they've given up some fine pitchers. They gave up on Joy J. They also gave up on Juan Pizarro. Willie has pitched very good baseball for the Mets. And now Don Notabart pitching a no-hitter, although he gave up 1 run. There's a pitch back looked at for strike 3 call. So Cannizzaro goes down looking. Strikeout number 3 for Billy Pierce. He has now retired 7 in a row, and it brings up Al Moran.
Well, the Braves giving up on those pitchers, it reminds you of the many shortstops and first basemen buried over the years by Pee Wee Reese and Gil Hodges. That Spahn, Burdette, and Buell left a lot of them behind, didn't they?
It's great to have great pitchers like that, but of course it does keep the young ones from developing in the parent organization. Here's the first pitch to Al Moran, a right-hand batter. It's inside, a slider for strike for ball 1. Moran batting 186. He has 16 hits and 86 trips to the plate. Pierce with 3 strikeouts in a row now working to Al Moran. And he picks up a strike with a fastball in the outside corner about bell high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The score 2-0. The Giants lead. They have scored the 2 runs in this game on home runs. One by Willie Mays, the other by Willie McCovey. Wind has calmed down considerably now. The fog has more or less lifted. There's a curve just outside. It's ball 2. Game was held up for 32 minutes after 1 out in the bottom half of the first inning because of fog and wind. Now Pierce back to the plate, and there's a swing and a miss and a fastball for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Billy Pierce got off to a slow start here this year. He did win his first game for his 14th win here in Candlestick Park. After that, he has had trouble. His record 1-3. He has been used in relief as of late, now making another start. He started against the Mets in the Polo Grounds, and he was hit fairly freely. Here's a pitch back. It's a fastball. Strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts in a row for Billy Pierce. He has 2 out now here in the top of the 3rd.
Number 26, Mr. Gaylord.
Worked the first inning 1-2-3. The only ball hit hard was by Cliff Cook, a line shot to Davenport at 3rd. In the second inning, he worked 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. Here in the 3rd, he has 2 strikeouts, and he's pitching to Galen Cisco. On a bouncy ball back to the mound, a 1-hopper. Pierce takes it, overhands to first base to retire the side. So Billy Pierce now through 3 innings has retired 9 men in a row, and the score after 3 innings of play, should say 2.5 innings of play, the San Francisco Giants 2, the New York Mets nothing. Well, we're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Giants batting now against Galen Cisco. The score 2-0 in favor of the Giants. They scored their 2 runs on solo home runs in this first inning. Willie Mays picking up a home run and Willie McCovey. Mays last year against the Mets had 8 home runs, so he now has a total of 11 home runs against the New York Mets in one and a part of another season. As we move along in the game, Galen Cisco warming up on the mound. He'll work to Philippe Lou, Willie Mays, and Willie McCovey. So Galen, who has given up only 2 hits, will have a tough job here in the 3rd. Philippe Lou has had quite a slump. He was leading the league at one time. In fact, he was leading the league when the Giants played the Mets in New York. He has had 1 hit in his last 24 trips to the plate. That has dropped his average down to 324. It's mighty fine when you can go that long with only 1 hit and still bat 324. Pitched by Galen Cisco. There's a shot right at the shortstop, and he is out. Boy, that's the way it goes when you're in a slump. You can't hit that ball anywhere that there isn't a glove in front of it. That ball was really hit right at the shortstop, Al Moran. 1 out now, and that brings up Willie Mays. Willie's home run, a long home run to left center field against the wind. The wind wasn't blowing quite as strongly as it was earlier. The estimates were 40 to 45 miles an hour. It's still blowing fairly strong in, though, now. Here's a strike call. Mays taking on the outside. Willie batting .275. He has 7 home runs now, and he has 19 runs batted in. Now Cisco comes back. A curveball hit down the short. Moran digs it out. Throws him out at first base. Willie going for an outside curveball. Did not get too much behind the ball. The pitch was a good pitch by Galen Cisco. And Cisco now is a pitch away from working a perfect inning here in the 3rd inning. He'll be working to Willie McCovey, who has a home run. McCovey's home run, a shot to center field just over the fence against the wind. He has 7 home runs to tie for the club lead. Mays, McCovey, and Felipe Lou all with 7. McCovey batting from the left-hand side. There's a hard swing and a curveball for strike 1. McCovey batting .303, and he's one of the real favorites here in San Francisco. He gets the O's and Ahs with that big swing of his. Now Cisco back, and there's a curve pulled foul down by Wes Westrom in the coaching box. And Galen Cisco now has a 2-strike count. Tomorrow the Mets will play right here in Candlestick Park, a day game. Game time in New York, 3:55. Carl Willie scheduled against Jack Sanford. Then the Mets move on to Los Angeles for a doubleheader against the Dodgers on Sunday. Now Cisco comes back to work. He's high inside with a fastball, not too tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-0 game, the Giants lead. Now a change of pace, a swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So Cisco works a perfect inning for the first time in the ball game, and he picked up his 3rd strikeout to retire the side. And the score after 3 innings of play, the Giants 2, the New York Mets nothing. Well, one of the fellows we saw right here in the ballpark earlier this evening was fellow who was quite a ball player, Ernie Lombardi, that brought to mind the fact that the Giants will have a lot of those old-time great ball players in the ballpark. I should say the Mets will in the ballpark when they play Old Timers Day just prior to the Philly ball game scheduled on Saturday afternoon on June 22nd. You get to see some of the real great former Major League stars from the New York metropolitan area. People like Hank Greenberg, a Hall of Famer. Frankie Frisch, also a Hall of Famer. Johnny Murphy, who heads up the farm department for the Mets, will also be out there. Johnny set some real great records for the New York Yankees as one of the top firemen in baseball when relief pitchers weren't quite as important as they are in baseball today. He was one of the leaders in the relief department. That's Saturday afternoon, June 22nd, Old Timers Day. Get a chance to take a look at your famous athletes as they are now. It's surprising how well they keep themselves in shape. Ernie Lombardi said he's 20 pounds lighter right now than when he plays. We're moving on to the top of the 4th. 2-0 the Giants lead, and Charlie Neal will lead off against Billy Pierce. And the first pitch is low for ball 1. Charlie batting for the 2nd time, popped out to the second baseman his first time up. He's batting .272. Now the windup. Next pitch is hit sharply down the 3rd. A good play by Davenport as he comes up with it. The throw to first is in time. Davenport moved to his left to take that ball, got his glove on it. He actually made the play look much easier than it was. He's really an outstanding third baseman. Now Pierce has retired 10 in a row. 1 out here in the 4th inning. The batter's Ron Hunt. Ron has a 9-game hitting streak going. He was out to the second baseman his first time up. The hitting streak giving Hunt a .306 average. He's a right-hand batter, and there's a foul back on the screen, a slider that was inside for strike 1. Giants have 2 runs on 2 hits, both runs coming on home runs. Willie McCovey and Willie Mays. Now Pierce back to work. A curveball hit sharply in the hole. A great play by Davenport. The throw to first in time. That time Davenport had to make the play look hard. It was hard. He went in the hole, one-handed the ball, and threw him out. Well, Bob Murphy told you a lot about Davenport. It wasn't enough. This fella does quite a job with that glove. 2 men out, 2 plays by Davenport, and the batter now is Cliff Cook. Cook lined to Davenport his first time up. He is 0 for 1. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Cliff batting .149. He has 2 home runs. One of the home runs in the first game of the series. The game was won by the Giants 6-5. Tomorrow, the final game. Here's Pierce back to the plate. He's outside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pierce now has retired 11 men in a row in this game. We're in the top of the 4th inning. The curve, good one, the swing and the miss. taking something off the curve, a big rolling type curveball. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pierce with a 16-6 record last year. Now he winds and deals back to Cook. A swing and a miss. He's looking out, and that's strikeout number 5 to retire the side. Pierce now with 4 perfect 1-2-3 innings. He has a no-hitter going. The Giants lead it by a score of 2-0. Willie Pierce working on a perfect ball game right now. He has retired every man he has faced so far through 4 innings, and the Giants now come to bat. They lead 2-0. He'll be batting against Galen Cisco, who has given up only 2 hits. Both hits home runs. He'll be pitching to Orlando Cepeda, Ed Bailey, and Joe Amalfitano. Cepeda walked his first time up. He's a big right-handed batter. And the first pitch to Cepeda is pulled foul down by the third base coaching box. Waddy Lockwood waving the ball on by. Giants with 2 runs in the bottom half of the first inning, the only runs of the game. Cepeda off to a good start. He's batting .324. Closed stance deep in the box, and the pitch back is a high slider for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cisco 1-3 now deals back, and he picks up a fastball right on the outside corner for strike 2. You often wonder if you could pitch Cepeda right on that spot, low and outside, if you couldn't get him out in this ballpark. Now the pitch back to the baby bull, and he swings and misses for a strikeout. The ball dropped by Cannizzaro, but he tags Cepeda right at home plate. So 2 strikeouts in a row for Galen Cisco. He is now 4. He'll be pitching to Ed Bailey. Ed was his second strikeout victim in the second inning, so Bailey is 0 for 2. Batting .317.
Ed Bailey.
Bailey had a real hot streak against the Mets in the Pollin grounds. He looks at the first pitch. It's low for ball 1. Here's Cisco back with a curve. It's off of the chest of Eddie Cranepool, and he can't pick it up. We'll see how they score it while we wait. Right now would be a good time to pour yourself a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. You bet it would. So open up or order up a Rheingold Extra Dry. It's beer as beer should taste. It scored a base hit for Ed Bailey. The ball took a bad hop, and it hit Cranepool on the chest. He never did get his glove on it. It bounced about 30 feet away. So the Giants now have their 3rd hit in the game, and they'll bring up Joe Amalfitano. Joe walked his first time up. Now Eddie Cranepool at first base, giving the sign that he will play behind the runner there. Bailey not a fast man. And the first pitch to Amalfitano is a strike call. Amalfitano decoying a bunt. Charlie Neal fairly deep at 3rd. The on-deck batter is Jose Pagan. The pitch back is hit on the ground slowly to 3rd. If it stays fair, a tough play for Neal. He can't make a play. That ball started to move toward foul territory, and at the last minute it bounced back toward fair territory, and Neal had to try. He came up, and wisely didn't throw. He had no chance. It's a base hit. And moving on down to second base on the base hit was Ed Bailey. That'll bring up Jose Pagan. The Giants with runners at first and second. The Mets have 1 out. The Giants lead 2-0 here in the 4th inning. And the first pitch to Pagan is a curve outside for ball 1. Jose, a right-handed batter, is 0 for 1 in the game. He's batting .219. Pagan is one of the real strong hitting shortstops. He'll fool you. One of the best 8th men in the batting order that you can find. It's a tough spot to hit in. 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss, and a fastball for strike 1. The 8th man in the batting order, of course, gets very little to hit at because the pitcher coming up is a much easier man to work to, and most pitchers, if they have a chance, will pitch very carefully to the 8th man in the batting order. Base is open. And they'll take their chances with the next batter, the pitcher. Now the 1-1 pitch as time comes in. The ball is dropped as it comes inside, but the runners do not move up as Cannizzaro picks it up quickly. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom half of the 4th inning, 1 out. Runners at first and second. A fastball that's through there for strike 2. That time Cisco completely fooled Fagan. He had no chance. The ball was by him before he could move. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's the pitch, a curve ball, strike 3. Ralph Garner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from Candlestick Park here in San Francisco, California. The score 2-0 in favor of the Giants. They have runners at first and second base. The Mets have 2 out, and the batter is Billy Pierce. And Galen Cisco with his first pitch is outside for ball 1. Billy grounded to second his first time up. He has yet to get a base hit so far this year. He's 0 for 9. Galen back to the plate to Billy Pierce, and the pitch is taken high. A throw to second base. It's a bad throw. A great play by Al Moran, digging the ball out of the dirt. Ed Bailey getting back safely, of course. The throw was way to the left of the bag, and Moran came up with the throw on the short hop. Runners will have to stay, and the count now is 2-0 to Billy Pierce. Cisco now back to work. And he misses low. The ball gets away from Cannizzaro. The runners move up. It scored a wild pitch. The ball was in the dirt. Cannizzaro couldn't block it enough. The ball bounced away about 30 feet. Now the Giants have Ed Bailey at third base and Joe Amalfitano at second. Count 3 balls and no strikes. First looking down at Whitey Lockman. Take sign has to be on here, 3-0. Billy batting, maybe not. Let's see. He takes it slow for ball 4. The bases are loaded. Walk number 3 issued by Cisco to load the bases, and now he'll have to work to Jim Davenport. Giants lead 2-0. It's the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Mets have 2 out. Davenport is 0 for 2. He was struck out, and then he lined out. He's batting .242. First pitch to the right-hand batter is a curve, a perfect curveball right in the outside corner for strike 1. Jim didn't like the call. Jocko Conlon, the home plate umpire. Last year, Davenport led all Giant batters against the Mets. Pitch back is a slider that's just a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Davenport last year batted .460 against the Met pitchers. The season average was .297. Now the 1-1 pitch. A good curve, but just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Giants with the bases loaded. Ed Bailey on at third base. Joe Amalfitano, the runner at second. Billy Pierce at first. Wind has calmed down considerably. There's no fog in sight right now. Now the pitch back to Davenport. It's low for ball 3. This time Cisco missing with a fastball. Now the sign goes out to the bullpen for the Mets. Tracy Stollard up and throwing again. There's the pitch. It's a curveball outside for ball 4. That'll force in Ed Bailey from third base. He had reached there when Billy Pierce walked, and now the Giants lead it by a score of 3-0. Walk number 4 issued by Cisco. The Giants lead 3-0, and the batter is Felipe Alou. First pitch to Alou is in the hole, and a great play by Neal. He throws to second for the force out to retire the side. Charlie Neal moving over to pick up that ball in the hole. He one-handed the ball through to the second baseman, Hunt covering, and that is the end of the inning. But the Giants picked up 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 men were left on. The score at the end of 4, the Giants 3, the New York Mets nothing.
Right here, Duke Snider is up against Billy Pierce in the top half of the 5th inning. Strike called on the outside corner. Veteran left-hander Billy Pierce has retired 12 straight men. A drive hit hard, a clean base hit, going to right center field. So that breaks up the early bid by Billy Pierce. He had retired 12 straight, and it brings up Jim Hickman. Jim 0 for 1. He was struck out by Pierce in the 2nd inning. San Francisco, 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. New York, no runs, 1 hit. Single to right center by Duke Snider, and no errors. Now Pierce eyes the runner, nobody out. The pitch to Hickman, swing and a miss, strike 1. Day game tomorrow to wind up the series will be on the air at 5 until 4 tomorrow afternoon, New York time. This road trip will conclude a week from Sunday in St. Louis with a doubleheader. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jim Hickman. On the next homestand, the New York Mets will be playing the New York Yankees in the Yankee Stadium in the Mayor's Trophy game for the benefit of Sandlot Baseball in New York. That'll be on the night of June 3rd. Those tickets, by the way, are now on sale at all the New York Met ticket outlets. The 1-1 delivery. He holds up inside and low. It's ball 2, 2-1. After that great series against the Milwaukee Braves in New York, Jim went into a batting slump, changed his batting stance, and moved a little closer to the plate and has hit the ball real well over about the last half a dozen games. He leads the Mets in RBIs with 23. Snider, the home run leader. The Duke has 6. A high foul fly twisting its way toward the upper deck where it will nestle and be out of play, 2-1. Well, not a trace of fog right now. Breeze still very much in evidence, blowing from left across toward right. Breeze finally carrying that fog out of here and out beyond Candlestick Park. Now all the lights of the residences are in view. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That is number 6 for Billy Pierce, and it brings on Eddie Cranepool.
Number 21.
Eddie 0 for 1. He was struck out his first time up. Following the game tomorrow, the Mets fly on to Los Angeles. They have a doubleheader with the Dodgers on Sunday. And Casey will be pitching Al Jackson and Roger Craig on Sunday. Call strike on the outside corner to Eddie Cranepool. Sunday doubleheader starting at 1 in Los Angeles. That means 4 in New York. Both games will be broadcast. Both games will be televised. Slow curve that's over to Eddie Cranepool. He takes it, strike 2. The master craftsman, Billy Pierce, really mixing him up to young Ed Cranepool. Eddie hitting at 235. Now the pitch on the way. Fastball over, strike 3 call. He threw him a slider on the outside corner, a slow curve on the other side corner, and then a knee-high fastball.
Number 8, Cannizzaro.
On those pitches, he was to pitching what Rembrandt was to painting. He really knew what he was doing with them. 2 outs and 1 man on. The hitter now is Chris Cannizzaro. Chris, a right-hand batter, has a pretty fast bat. They play him a stride toward left. A drive hit hard, a base hit going to left center field. Around second base is the Duke. He's rambling on toward third, and he'll come in that way, standing up. Runners at the corners on the base hit by Cannizzaro. Cannizzaro getting the bat around. He hit a shot into left center field. Now the New York Mets have runners on first and third. There are 2 away. And on to hit will be Al Moran. Mets trailing 3-0. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. Now Pierce up in pitching position. delivers to Moran, misses the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. Moran 16 for 86 on the year, hitting a little under 200. Now runners on first and third with a short lead. The pitch to Moran, a smash hit hard, a base hit down the left field line. Snider comes in to score. The ball gets by McCovey. Rounding third now is Cannizzaro. He's digging for the plate, and he'll come in to score. Racing to second goes Al Moran. It's 3-2. A hard line drive base hit to left field by Moran, and the ball got through Willie McCovey and went back to the fence. It will go as a single and a run batted in for Moran, and an error charged on left fielder Willie McCovey. 2 runs crossed the plate. So the Mets have rallied to score 2 with 2 men down, and now Galen Cisco is up to hit. Give Moran an RBI on Snider's run. Cannizzaro scores on the error charged to Willie McCovey. Strike 1 to Galen Cisco. Now it's a 3-2 ball game. Now Pierce up in pitching position. Eyes the runner at second. The pitch to Cisco. A ground ball hit the second base. Amalfitano is up with it. He pegs to Cepeda, and the side is out. But the complexion changes as the Mets rally to get 2 with 2 down in their half of the 5th inning. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. We've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings to score. The Giants 3 and the Mets 2. On tap now, something bright and sprightly.
How can any beer be as rich and delicious as Rheingold? It's a girl's best friend. Since I've tasted Rheingold, I'm rather suspicious of just any brand. I'll take my stand and Rheingold brand. It's extra dry to satisfy your thirst. Yes, I must recommend that bright, lively, good taste. It's beer as beer should taste. Rheingold is a girl's best friend.
Rheingold Extra Dry is brewed the long, slow, costlier way for flavor that's brisk, bright, and clean clear through. It's beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's a dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Now the Giants will have the heart of their batting order up against Galen Cisco in the last half of the 5th inning. Mets right back into the game by scoring 2 after 2 were away in their half of the 5th inning. Willie Mays will be up against Galen Cisco in the home 5th inning. Willie hit a home run with the bases clear, his 7th of the year in the 1st inning. Willie now is 4 for 5 in this series, including 2 home runs. Galen out of his windup, the pitch to Willie. Ground ball hit toward the hole. Moran feels it deep in the hole. Long peg, he's out at first base. Al Moran with that strong throwing arm gunning down Willie Mays. He really had great defensive position that time on Willie. He was playing him over toward the hole on the left side of the diamond. But actually took the ball without too much trouble. His position is normally associated with a base hit. Here's Willie McCovey. He hit one over the wire fence in the center over 400 feet away for a home run in the first and was struck out on a changeup in the third. Inside, it's ball 1. Baby Bull, Orlando Cepeda will be up next, and then Ed Bailey. Here's the windup pitched by Cisco. He lets it go. It's inside and low. Ball 2, 2-0. Galen hoping to notch his second win against 3 setbacks this year. Pitches 2-0. Ball 3, and now he goes behind on McCovey, a tough hitter, 3-0. Willie hitting an even 300 with 7 homers and 17 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. Inside, it's ball 4, and Willie is on. Galen has thrown a lot of pitches in this game. He now has walked 5, struck out 5, given up 3 runs, allowed 4 hits. And the hitter is Orlando Cepeda. Cepeda has drawn a walk and been struck out. He's 0 for 1, batting at .321. Ground ball hit the shortstop. Moran's only play is across the diamond to Crane Pool in time, getting Cepeda. They had McCovey running, and so he goes to second. Now there are two away. That brings up Ed Bailey. Galen Susko has been pitching very well for New York, but he has been tormented by that home run pitch. Game in Milwaukee, he walked 2, and then Len Gabrielson hit a 3-run homer. That was in the first inning. He wound up losing 5-2. In the Polo Grounds, he walked 2, and Willie Mays hit 1. After that, he pitched well, but was the loser. And then against Cincinnati, an error and a walk, and Leo Cardenas hit 1 to beat him. Ground ball hit foul in behind Wes Westbrook. Giants 3 and the Mets 2 were in the last half of inning number 5. Ron Hunt deep against power hitting Ed Bailey. He plays him a couple of steps into right field. Now the pitch on the way. In the dirt, blocked by Cannizzaro. No advance, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cannizzaro caught his first game of the year yesterday. Handled himself well behind the plate and had an extra base hit. Pitch to Bailey. A high drive deep to center field. Back goes Hickman. He has room. He's under it. Makes the catch, and the side is out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. 5 innings complete. The score, San Francisco 3, New York 2. Now Charlie Neal will try and get things going in the top half of the 6th inning. He will be followed by Ron Hunt and then Cliff Cook. Billy Pierce on the mound for San Francisco. Charlie 0 for 2. Ground ball hammered towards short. Backhand play by Pagan. Long peg to first. Out. He got him. A great throw. Left side of that San Francisco infield has turned into some real eye poppers this game tonight. Third baseman Jim Davenport has made 2 sparkling plays. And that was a good one by Pagan. A backhand stab. And a throw that really had something on it. 1 away and nobody on. The hitter is Ron Hunt. Ron was robbed of a hit on a fielding gem by Davenport his last time at bat. Ron 0 for 2. A high foul ball hit to the left, no play. Ron way out in front on that one. Ron, a little bit like Ralph Kiner in that he's bothered by all kinds of allergies. He's, according to the doctor, allergic to grass. Pretty tough thing for a ball player. A line drive base hit going to right field as Ron Hunt keeps his consecutive game streak alive. Ron now has hit safely in 10 straight games. He singles to right with 1 man away. Now the hitter will be Cliff Cook. They have sent the sign to the Giant bullpen. Don Larson is now cranking up. Mets trailing 3-2. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Duke Snider, the left fielder, is on deck, and then Jim Hickman. Billy Pierce retired 12 in a row over the first 4 innings. But Duke Snider broke it up with a single to right center in the 5th inning. He later came in to score on Al Moran's single to left. Curve is hit down to third, caught in the air by Davenport, thrown to first, safe. Headlong slide back to first, gets Ron Hunt back safely. That's the second time in the game that Cook has lined out to third. Now before Snider steps in, we'll pause for station identification.
810 on your radio dial, WGY Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. A General Electric station. The time, 28 minutes until 2.
One ball and no strikes. Duke Snider batting. Duke has 1 hit and 2 times up. Cliff Cook hitting in tough luck in the game tonight. Twice he has lined out to Jim Davenport. Now Hunt leading off first. Pitched by Billy Pierce, a curve that's inside. Snider takes the count 2-0. The game yesterday, the Giants took a 6-1 lead, but the Mets fought back. They got 4 runs. They lost it 6-5. Left-hander against left-hander, and it's low, ball 3. Now 3-0 count on Duke Snider. During the regular season last year, Billy Pierce won 12 and lost none here in Candlestick Park. He won 12 of his 16 regular season victories in Candlestick. Curve is over on 3-0, a call strike, 3-1. Pierce taking no chances on throwing that fastball to Snider on 3-0 in this spot. The Mets trailing by 1 run, 3-2. So he curved him on 3-0. Wind has subsided considerably. Here's the pitch on the way. Low, it's ball 4. The Duke is on. That moves Ron Hunt to second base, and it brings Alvin Dark out of the Giant dugout. Larson has been warming up in the bullpen. That is the first walk given up by Billy Pierce. And this will be all for Billy, and Don Larson will be brought on in relief. So Billy Pierce will leave the game after pitching 5 2/3 innings. At the moment, he has given up 2 runs, allowed 4 hits, walked only 1 man, the walk just issued to Duke Snider, and struck out 7. Veteran right-hander Don Larson comes on. It'll be right-hander against right-hander. Dark bringing in Larson to pitch to Jim Hickman with 2 on and 2 out. For Don Larson, this will be his 8th appearance of the year, all in relief. He worked against the New York Mets in the second game of the doubleheader in the Polo Grounds, won by New York 4-2 on a strong pitching effort by Carl Willie. In relief, he pitched 3 innings. He gave up 1 run. Larson has 1 none and lost 1. He lost in relief to Houston 2-1. Very first time out this year. Here's the hand for Billy Pierce. In other games, tonight a no-hitter for Don Notabart, the 27-year-old right-hander from West Newton, Mass. Houston beat Philadelphia 4-1 behind Notabart's no-hitter. Hamilton was the loser. Warwick and Goss homered. Braves and Cubs were rained out today in Chicago. Actually, New York time, I should say yesterday, I guess. In a night game, St. Louis 11, Cincinnati 2, a 4-hitter for Ernie Broglio. Joey J losing his 7th. Grote and Musial homer. They're still going in Los Angeles after 6.5. Dodgers 9, Pittsburgh 1 behind Bob Miller. Gibbon, Francis, and Sisk for the Pirates. A 2-run homer by Frank Howard. At the Yankee Stadium, Jim Bouton pitched a 4-hitter, and Joe Pepitone homered twice with a man on to give the Yankees a 4-3 win over the Angels. Leon Wagner with 2 homers drove in all 3 runs for Los Angeles. Mel Nelson was the loser. 3-hit shutout by Ted Boesfield snapped a 5-game Red Sox winning streak. Kansas City 2, Boston nothing. Dave Moorhead losing. White Sox and the Birds rained out in Baltimore. Tigers in Washington couldn't play, rain in Washington. Bob Allison had a big game with 3 homers, at least 6 RBIs, as Minnesota down Cleveland 11-4. Jim Perry the winner and Gary Bell the loser. Bob Pollin goes to work in the bullpen as Larson gets set to go now to pitch to Jim Hickman. 2 on and 2 out. Here's the pitch. Outside and low, it's ball 1 to Jim Hickman. Mets trailing by 1, 3-2. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Ron Hunt leading off first base. Duke Snider leads off second and Snider off first. Ball 2, the Snider is outside. 2-0 now on Hickman. Alvin Dark has the big blonde right-hander. Bob Pollin getting ready now for the Giants. Just before New York checked into San Francisco, Pollin saved 2 games in 2 days against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yesterday's game, the 3rd in a row that the relief pitching had to save for the starter for San Francisco. Breaking ball over, a call strike. 2-1 now on Jim Hickman. Those of you who joined us along the line and perhaps wonder about the lateness of the evening, in the opening inning, this game was held up over 30 minutes due to fog. Now the 2-1 pitch. In the dirt, a good scoop by Ed Bailey. And now it's 3-1 on Jim Hickman. Eddie Cranepool is the on-deck hitter. Giants 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. New York 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Now Larson looking in for his sign. Count 3-1 on Jim Hickman. 3-1 delivery. Ball 4 that loads the bases and brings up Eddie Cranepool. So Eddie Cranepool comes on to hit with the bases loaded. Eddie, batting at .232, has been up twice and been struck out twice. But he's up against a right-hander for the first time in the game. Two men down. Eddie stepping in with the Mets trailing by 1 run, 3-2. Now the pitch by Larson. Low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield a strike toward right against Eddie Cranepool. Ron Huck leads off third. Snider off second. Hickman off first. A swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Larson threw a breaking ball. Cranepool went right after it, and now it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Cannizzaro crossed to the on-deck circle, still wearing his shin guards with 2 down, and hoping that Cranepool can save him a stick. Now Eddie cocks the bat. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece of it, a foul ball. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Veteran right-hander Don Larson is on in relief of starter Billy Pierce. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 3 left on. At the end of 5 1/2, the score, the Giants 3 and the Mets 2. Now we go along to the last of the 6th inning. Joey Amalfitano will be out to hit against Galen Cisco. Mets casting a menacing shadow against Giant Hurley in the top half of the inning, but Don Larson on 3-2. Fanned Eddie Cranepool to nip the thread, and 3 were left on. Totals, Giants 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and New York 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Got a real good chance to get kind of late back in New York before this ball game's over. Amalfitano, right-hand batter. Line drive hit hard. Base hit to right center field. Cutting over into right center, Jim Hickman, and he plays the ball back to the infield. So Amalfitano is on with a hard single to right center. That's base hit number 5 for the Giants, and it brings up Jose Pagan. Jose Pagan has been up twice, been thrown out by Al Moran, and taken a call third strike. Now Charlie Neal is in close at third in the event of a bunt. Cranepool holds against a runner. He's around the bunt, doesn't offer it, it's inside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Gaylord keeping that fastball up high to make it a tough pitch to lay down. Now Pagan checking with Whitey Lockman, the coach at third, to see if Alvin Dark still has the bunt play on. Outfield around toward left. Now throw to first. He almost caught him waiting. Now we're holding for just a moment while Amalfitano gets the dirt off his uniform after sliding back. Here's the pitch. He didn't offer to bunt at that one, but took it, and it goes outside and low. Ball 2-0. For those of you who joined us late, the Giants grabbed a 2-0 lead in the opening inning on home runs by Willie Mays and Willie McCovey. They were back-to-back home runs. They picked up their third run in the 4th inning when Davenport walked with the bases loaded to force in a run. Pitch is over for a strike. Cannizzaro put a play on there that seemed to baffle the Giants. It was almost like a pitch out, although the count was 2-0. Then he had to reach back and catch the pitch that was over the plate for a strike. 2-1 on Jose Pagan. Throw to first. Not in time. Amalfitano tagging up with his hand as he plunges back. Last half of the 6th inning, a quick throw to first. Not in time. He really almost had him leaning the other way that time. Galen Cisco mixing up those moves to first base. Now the pitch. He's around but doesn't offer, and it's out of the strike zone, 3-1. Galen Cisco has walked 5 men, struck out 5, given up 3 runs, allowed 5 hits. Now the crowd of nearly 20,000 at Candlestick Park, starting that rhythmic clapping. Amalfitano leads off first. A throw to first, not in time. Pitching 3-1. Swing and a miss on a curve. And Cannizzaro was hit by the foul tip. Just barely nicked it, enough so that he steered it into Chris Cannizzaro's midsection, and the count is 3-2. Now let's keep an eye on Amalfitano and see if Alvin Dark puts a play on. Nobody out, 3-2 on Pagan. Galen, a rather slow worker, now eyes his runner. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Foul ball over toward the crowd. This will be out of play. Eddie Cranepool digging in, hoping, but it's over into the field boxes. We have a pretty nice night now after the pretty hectic start with all the wind and the fog in the early part of the game. Amalfitano edging away at first. He's running. Here's the pitch. Hit hard. Foul ball. Down into the Giant bullpen. It caroms down out into left field. Once again, Amalfitano will have to retrace his steps to first base. For the second time, he was running on the 3-2 delivery. only other Major League game not complete, the game going in Los Angeles. Dodgers with a big lead over the Pirates. There goes the runner. Here's the pitch on the way inside and high. It's ball 4. So Galen Cisco is on the edge of some serious trouble. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And Don Larson, a good hitter, is scheduled up. Well, you know, millions say, my beer is Rhine Gold, the dry beer. How about you? Right now, why not open up or order up a Rhine Gold Extra Dry? Billy O'Dell is coming out to bat for Don Larson. O'Dell was 2 for 3 before he left the scene yesterday.
Number 31.
Maybe a good bunter, that may be the reason, and Alvin wants to send him up. Pollin warming up in the bullpen for the Giants. He'll take over the pitching, and Tracy Stallard is now warming up for the New York Mets. Now the Mets will be looking for the bunt with Billy O'Dell hitting for Don Larson. Table setters have done their job. 2 men are on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. He's around to bunt. Bunts, foul ball. Grabbed quickly by Cannizzaro. And a 1-strike count now on Billy O'Dell. Now Galen Cisco makes the stop. The pitch coming down. Bunted. Fair ball. Good bunt. The play goes to third. He's out at third. Fast fielding by Cisco. They get the lead runner of Amalfitano. Galen Cisco took the gamble. When he turned that throw loose, it looked like Amalfitano was practically on third. But he really rifled the throw to Charlie Neal, and it was in time to get Amalfitano. One away, runners on first and second. The batter is Jim Davenport. Davenport has been called out on strikes, lined out to short, and drawn a walk. Right-hand hitter batting at .242. Dangerous hitter. They play him around toward left. Ball 1 inside and high. Giants 3 and the Mets 2, last half of the 6th inning. Now the pitch on the way. Curve is over for a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. All over in Los Angeles. The Dodgers beat Pittsburgh 9-3. Bob Miller, the winner, and the loser, Joe Gibbons. Dodgers now have won 9 of their last 11 ball games. They'll be rooting for the Mets to try and win this one. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball hammered down to third. Neal fires to second. 1 on to first. Double play to retire the side. Charlie Neal sending the ball around the infield for the twin killing that erases the Giants. In the 6th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Now at the end of 6th, the score, the Giants 3 and the Mets 2. We'll be going to the 7th inning of a 3-2 ball game, and as we get set to do so, all set to follow the exciting action for you, Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Bob Murphy, the New York Mets pulling it out there with the fourth and third on the attempted sacrifice, and then pulling off the double play that went from Neal to Hunt and on over to Eddie Craneville. Well, the New York Mets, of course, present a new face on that infield this year. It's something that the San Francisco Giant fans have been very much aware of, the fact that the Mets now can pull off the big plays on the infield. In addition to that, though, the Mets have something else new this year, and it's an official song called Meet the Mets. You've heard it at the ballpark and on these broadcasts and on the telecast. And now there's a 45 RPM record of the Meet the Mets songs available. There are two versions of the song, one with vocal, the other strictly instrumental. So if you want to get your copy of the Meet the Mets record, send $1 to Met Official Song, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. And keeping right on the subject of baseball, you'll want to mark the date of Monday night, June 3rd on your baseball calendar. That's the night of the Mayor's Trophy game between the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. It'll be played at Yankee Stadium. Tickets are now on sale for that Mayor's Trophy game at all of the New York Mets ticket outlets. Or if you want to get your tickets by mail, write to Ticket Manager, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. New pitcher in the ball game is Bob Pollin for the San Francisco Giants. Bob Pollin working here in relief of Larson, who was removed for Billy O'Dell to try the sacrifice. Pollin has a record of 1 victory and no losses. He has worked exclusively in relief. This is his 9th appearance. He's a tall right-hander, and Chris Cannizzaro is up. Here's the windup, and the pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Tracy Stallard continues to throw in the bullpen for the New York Mets as the old Professor Casey Stengel wants to be all set to go for a pinch hitter in case the New York Mets can get something started here in the top half of the 7th inning. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's strike 2 to Chris Cannizzaro. He had a single. Hard hit ball to left field in the top half of the 5th inning. Giants are leading here by a score of 3-2. Giants have 3 runs on 5 hits. The Mets have 2 runs on 4 hits. Pollin has his sign now from Ed Bailey, and here's the pitch. It misses outside. It pops off the glove of Ed Bailey and comes on back, and Jocko Conklin pokes Ed Bailey on the head before he throws the ball back to the pitcher, and that is the reaction you hear from the crowd. The ball just sort of glanced off the glove of Ed Bailey, and apparently he said something because Conklin jumped a little bit and then just sort of, with his left hand, buffed Bailey on the back of the head and then fired another ball on back. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and there's a looper going out to left center field. McCovey coming over, and he makes the catch. McCovey taking that one at the waist on the full run. Hayes was coming over, didn't have a chance, and there's one away. Al Moran, a right-hand batter, is coming up. Moran single to drive in a run in the top half of the 5th inning, and on the ball that he lined out into left, McCovey committed an error, which allowed another run to score, accounting for the 2 runs that the Mets got in the top half of the 5th inning. 1 man out, nobody on base. Mets batting in the top of the 7th. Here's a swing and a miss. Al Moran took the big cut at that one all the way around. Tracy Stallard is still throwing in the bullpen of the New York Mets. So if Al Moran can get on, it's likely that manager Stengel will go for the pinch hitter. And that pitch is in there for a called strike. 2-strike count now to Moran. Perfectly calm evening here at Candlestick Park at the moment. Very little wind blowing. The flags barely stirring. No fog at all. It's completely clear. It's a breaking ball that misses way outside. 1-2. Bob Pollin pitching here. Billy Pierce started. Pitched 4 innings of perfect baseball. Stayed in for 5 2/3, during which he gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Struck out 7, walked 2. Here's a swing. And a foul ball off the protector of Jocko Conklin. And Jocko engaged in a few histrionics before tossing the ball back out to Pollin. In fact, he didn't toss it near Pollin. He just sort of tossed it out in the general direction of the mound. So, Al Moran asked that the ball be examined since it rolled around out there on the grass and on the mound a little bit. Tucker just looks at it in Bailey's glove and leaves it in play. Now here is the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and there's a high pop back at second. Going back is Pagan. He is called. He's backpedaling, backed up by Mays, and Pagan takes it for the out. 2 away, and right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
810 on your dial, WGY Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. The time is 1 minute past 2 a.m.
Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and Galen Cisco's going to bat for himself since the Mets have thus far been unable to get anything started here in the top of the seventh, and Tracy Stallard sits down in the bullpen. Cisco's been up twice. He grounded out pitcher to first, and he grounded out second to first. Bob Pollin winds and fires, pitches far, and there's a drive to right. Philippe Ballou moves back, and he makes the catch. Oh, well hit by Cisco to right field, but he is out and in the top of the seventh. The Mets got no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it is the Giants 3, the Mets 2. Why does the umpire at home plate keep moving around before every pitch? Well, it's to be sure he's in position to call the pitch right. You only need to make one move to be sure of the taste that's right in filter cigarettes. Just move over to Viceroy, because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Here's what I mean. If you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some taste too strong. You know, just like the unfiltered kind. And some taste too light. They take all the fun and flavor out of smoking. But Viceroy's not too strong and not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. So next time you buy cigarettes, make the move to Viceroy in the familiar soft pack or new slide top case. Either way, Viceroy's got the taste that's right. So why not pick up a carton of Viceroy next time you're buying cigarettes? We're moving to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Giants will send up Philippe Ballou, batting number 2 in the batting order. He has been up 3 times tonight without a hit. Giants leading by a score of 3-2. Galen Cisco started. He's come all the way for the New York Mets. And I should imagine we might have a few fans listening in tonight who haven't done so before. We've got tonight people on tonight with early morning baseball in New York. So welcome aboard. We're always glad to have you. In case you wonder why we happen to be around at such an hour, it's partially because of the fact that we were held up for 34 minutes because of fog and wind. In the bottom half of the first inning, the game was held up. And I can attest to the fact there was fog and there was wind. There was little of either at this moment. Philippe Ballou's a right-hand batter. Cisco has the sign. He's into the windup, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and there is a loop going out into short left, and Moran races back, and he makes the catch. Moran going back into short left, full tilt ahead toward the outfield fence. Reached as far as he could reach, lost his balance a little, stumbled along, and came up with the baseball. Beautiful catch by Moran. So Philippe Ballou is out. There is one away, and that'll bring up Willie Mays. Willie had a home run into the wind over the left field fence in the bottom half of the first inning, and since then has grounded out short to first twice. Galen Cisco with a windup and the pitch to Mays. Going away for ball 1. Willie's batting average at this moment is .271. 7 home runs. Here's a swing and a drive deep to left center field. Hickman is going back as far as he can go, and he puts it away right at the fence. Jim Hickman off and running, got a good jump, got there and then waited a moment and took the ball right at the fence out in left center, halfway between the 365 sign and the 410 sign. 2 away, and that will bring up Willie McCovey. McCovey had a home run in the bottom half of the first inning over the center field fence here. He struck out swinging and walked since. Big left-hand batter. 2 men out, nobody on base for the Giants, batting in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Pitch is low for a ball. Well, yesterday, the Giants got off to an early lead over the Mets, built it up to 6-1, and then the Mets had a big 4-run inning to bring it to 6-5, and twice the Mets after that got the potential tying run to second base, couldn't push it across and lost by 1 run. Pitch is low and away for a ball. Tonight, the Giants were out in front early with 2 home runs in the bottom half of the first, added another when a run was walked across in the bottom half of the fourth inning to make it 3-0, but the Mets came up with 2 big ones in the top of the fifth to make it 3-2, and that's where we are right now. Swinging a ground ball. That is deep to first. It is a fair ball. Cranepool takes it, makes the play unassisted. And Galen Cisco retires the side in order in the bottom of the seventh with no runs on no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of 7 in Candlestick Park, San Francisco, it is the Giants 3, the Mets 2. So let's check up, bring up to date on scores of the Major League Baseball games of the day and night, in case you have joined us recently. Houston Colt 45 defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1 as Don Notabart threw a no-hitter. He got a no-hitter but did not get a shutout when the Phils scored a run in the top half of the fifth on a 2-base error, a sacrifice on a sacrifice fly hit by Don Hope. But it is the second National League no-hitter of this season. Sandy Koufax pitched the other one against the Giants. Notabart has won 5 and lost 1. His only loss was at the Polo Grounds to the Mets by a score of 10-3. Carl Warwick and Howie Goss homered in the ball game for Houston. Milwaukee scheduled at Chicago this afternoon, postponed because of rain. The Cardinals defeated the Reds tonight 11-2. Ernie Broglio getting his 4th victory of the season. Joey J took the loss. Dick Grote and Stan Musial homered for the Cards. And the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight in Los Angeles 9-3. As Bob Miller got the win with help from Scott in the 9th, Joe Gibbons started, took the loss. Frank Howard homered in the 5th with 1 on. The American League, the Yankees defeated the Angels 4-3 as Joe Pepitone hit 2 home runs, each with a man on, and Leon Wagner hit 2 home runs for the Los Angeles Angels. Fountain the winner, Mel Nelson the loser. Kansas City A's shut out the Boston Red Sox 2-0. Bozefield the winner and Moorhead the loser. Chicago at Baltimore postponed because of rain. Charlie Neal is at the plate and the pitch is inside for a ball. Detroit was scheduled at Washington for a twilighter, postponed because of rain, and the Minnesota Twins defeated Cleveland 11-4. Perry the winner, Bell the loser, Harmon Killebrew homered, Versailles homered, and Bob Allison had 3 home runs in the ball game. Here's a swing and a miss. It's 1-1. There is no other Major League action going on at this time. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Charlie Neal, and it's inside for a ball. Left-hander Don Rowe is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Mets. He's a native of Compton, California. Charlie Neal tonight is 0 for 3. Bob Pollin with the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. It's 2-2 to Neal. Mets up here in the top half of the 8th inning, trailing by 1 run. With Ron Hunt on deck. Ron kept his consecutive game hitting streak alive in the top of the 6th when he singled, and he has now hit safely in 10 consecutive games. Polin's pitch is swung on and missed. So Neal goes down via the strikeout route, 1 away, and that'll bring up Ron Hunt. Grounded out second to first, grounded out third to first, and single to right. Ron Hunt has a batting average right now of .310. He started the night with an average of .39, which made him the number 9 batter in the National League, just behind Henry Aaron of Milwaukee, just ahead of Bill White of the Cardinals. Here's a swing and a foul ball, backing out of play. Strike 1 count to Ron Hunt. Well, Ralph Canner, it's nice to see that you got this California weather all cleared up for us here tonight.
You know, this sort of reminds you of Chicago. You know, they say just wait a while and the weather can change. This is certainly the windy spot in California.
All right, here's a pitch bunted, foul on the first baseline as Hunt's trying to bunt himself on. It's 2 strikes. Yes, sir, in the course of about 3 or 4 hours here, we've had just almost any kind of weather you'd care to mention. Downtown, we had the warmest day of the year in San Francisco, and the temperature got to 77. And we certainly had one of the windiest days of the year, and we tried to walk in the ballpark. If I hadn't walked behind you, I don't think I would have made it.
Wait a minute, I'm not that fat.
2 strikeouts to Ron Hunt. Here's a swing and a drive deep to left. McCovey going back. Mays going back. This one is going. Gone for a home run for Ron Hunt. And the ball game is tied up. We got a brand new one here. It's a 3-3 game. As Ron Hunt gets his 3rd home run of the season. And his 10th run batted in. And it's the Mets 3, the Giants 3. He leaned on that one. His 2nd home run in this series. With 1 man out, Cliff Cook is coming up. Cook's been up 3 times, hasn't had a hit, but twice he has ripped that ball into the glove of Jim Davenport down at 3rd. Here is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Ralph, that Ron Hunt gets a lot of power for a little man, doesn't he?
He certainly is strong. That ball was well hit because you have to drive the ball out the left with that wind blowing in.
All right, this pitch is in there to Cook for a called strike 2. With Duke Snider waiting around on deck. The home run coming out, relief pitcher Bob Pollin. That pitch misses high and away. It's 1-2. Don Rowe continues to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. Manager Alvin Dark has changed his pitching rotation. He's going to pitch Jack Sanford tomorrow instead of Jack Fisher. With a swing and a foul ball, back and out of play. So the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cliff Cook. Cook swings the bat as he waits. It is outside for a ball. It's 2-2. All even at 3-3, so if you happen to be listening around home, there's really no point in going to sleep now. We might have a lot of baseball left here. Pollin has a sign, and here is the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and sliced off foul. It's 2-2. One man out for the Mets, batting here in the top half of the 8th. Pollin with the pitch, swung on, and there's a high foul pop back at 3rd, being chased over by Davenport. He has a play, he's underneath, plenty of room, and he makes the catch. So Cook with a high foul to Davenport is the 2nd out, and Duke Snider's coming up. Duke got the first hit of this game for the Mets. It was a single to center in the top half of the 5th. To that point, Billy Pierce, who started, had pitched a perfect game. He had retired the first 12 Mets to come up in this game. He not only had a no-hitter going, he had a perfect game going. And it struck out 5 to that point. But then the Mets hopped on him for a couple of runs. Last year at Austin, Texas, Ron Hunt hit only 2 home runs. He's already hit 3 in his major league debut year. It's outside for a ball to Snider. Duke is 1 for 2 and a walk. Pitch is fired high and away.
From what I've seen of Ron Hunt, I would say that at Austin or in that league, they either have the worst lights that they can put up or awfully big ballparks, because it's hard to believe that he only hit 2 home runs with the power he's shown.
Of course, Texas is a big state. Here's the pitch outside for a ball.
I forgot about that.
And I tell you one thing, they used a lot of it in that Houston ballpark. It's fairly large. Here is the 3-0 pitch to Snider. He walked it on 4-pitch ball. And that will bring up Jim Hickman. Struck out, and walked. Score tied here. The Mets 3 and the Giants 3. Duke Snider takes his lead at first base. There's a pitch in there for a called strike to Jim Hickman. Ed Craneville is waiting on deck. Top half of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss. 2-strike count to Jim Hickman. Nine Mets have gone down via the strikeout route tonight, and the way manager Casey Stengel calculates it, he deducts the number of strikeouts from the number of putouts you get in the course of a ball game to see what you have left to work with. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to retire the side. That's the third time Hickman's been out swinging tonight. Second strikeout for Pollin. A total of 10 strikeouts for the combined pitching effort of the Giants. In the top half of the 8th, the Mets got 1 run on 1 hit. A homer by Ron Hunt, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 7.5 at Candlestick in San Francisco, it's the Mets 3, the Giants 3. Say, what's your idea of a perfect day? Well, maybe it's sailing on Long Island Sound or on one of the many rivers and lakes we have around New York. Or maybe it's getting the family together for a picnic. There are some wonderful places to go that are nearby, but whatever your idea of a perfect day is, I've got a little tip for you. Any great day can be made more wonderful when you remember to have Rheingold on hand. Rheingold Extra Dry. Here's beer that, well, it's beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean clear through. And those 2 words, extra dry, tell you why. Yes, sir, they tell you why Rheingold has a flavor that, well, you just don't find in any other beer. Why Rheingold Extra Dry even looks more refreshing. But, of course, the real test is in the taste. That's where Rheingold Extra Dry is at its very best. Like I said, Rheingold Extra Dry is beer as beer should taste. So, make your days a bit more wonderful. Enjoy Rheingold Extra Dry. Bottom half of the 8th inning of a ball game that is tied 3-3. The Giants send up Orlando Cepeda. He has walked, called out on strikes, and grounded out short to first. Gaylord Perry, hard-throwing right-hander, is warming up in the bullpen for the Giants, so that manager Alvin Dark will be ready to go to the pinch hitter if he gets down that far in the batting order. This pitch is in there for a called strike. Galen Cisco started for the Mets, and he's still in there. The Mets have battled back here. They were down 3-0, and they have battled back to 3-3. Swinging a foul ball back. 2-strike count. Through 7.5 innings, the Mets have 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Giants have 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Giants started the night on top in the National League with a 3-game bulge over the second place, Los Angeles Dodgers. Already the Dodgers have won their game tonight. Pitch is low. 1-2. Chris Cannizzaro cocked the arm as though to throw down to third. Jocko Conlon says ball 1. Dodgers have won 9 of their last 12 games, including a 3-game sweep of a set over the Giants. High drive to left field, and Snider is back there. He has room. He's waiting, and Duke Snider puts it away for the out. High fly ball to left, hit by Cepeda. 1 away, and left-hand batter and catcher Ed Bailey's coming up, called out on strike. Single, hit a ground ball that took the bat off the chest of Craneville down at first base. That was in the 4th inning, and he flied to center in the 5th. So Bailey's 1 for 3 tonight and has a batting average of .323. He is doing most of the catching these days for the Giants. Pitch low and away for a ball, and now left-hander Ken McKenzie gets up to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. Galen Cisco gets his sign. Pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Score is tied. The Mets 3, the Giants 3. This pitch is swung on and belted foul on the ground back of first, out of play on down into the bullpen area of the Mets. Runs to count 1-2 to Ed Bailey. We'll be back here at Candlestick again tomorrow afternoon. Of course, if you're in New York, since it's already in the early morning hours, it'll be this afternoon. We'll be on here at 3:55 p.m. New York time, radio and television. And we'll bring you both games of the doubleheader from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles on Sunday, radio and television. Here's a swing and a ground ball to second. Taken deep by Ron Hunt, up with it, plays it over to first in time. Hunt was down on both knees on the edge of the outfield grass to block that one. 2 away, nobody on, and Joey Amalfitano is coming in. Amalfitano has walked, singled, and singled. 2 for 2 and a walk. Batting average is 179. Three home runs in the game here tonight. Willie Mays hit one. Willie McCovey hit one, both in the first inning for the Giants. Ron Hunt hit one for the Mets in the 8th inning. Pitch is in there for a called strike to the right-hand batter. Again, Cisco is set to work. Pitch is in there for a called strike. Amalfitano had a notion, didn't swing the bat, and it was a called strike. Official paid attendance here tonight, 19,352. All things considered, an excellent turnout here at Candlestick to see the Mets and the Giants. Low and away for a ball. It's 1-2. Cisco takes a moment now. Looks in to get his sign from Chris Cannizzaro. And here is the 1-2 pitch. In there for a call, strike 3. Caught him looking. Strikeout number 6 for Galen Cisco as he sets the side down in order in the bottom half of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of 8, it's the Mets 3 and the Giants 3. If you'd like to follow the activity of the New York Mets very closely, you can do it better with a copy of the 1963 official New York Met yearbook. And the revised edition is now available. It has biographies of Ed Cranepool and Duke Snider that were not in the original yearbook this year. And inside, over 100 pictures with biographical and statistical data about all your favorite Met players. A story about Casey Stengel, stories about the coaches, the Shea Stadium, and the Stadiorama scoreboard. Highlights of last season, and a full page of players' autographs. To obtain your copy of the 1963 yearbook, send 50 cents for each copy to Met Yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York, 39 New York. Or if you want to pick up your copy in person, you can do that at the Met Ticket Office at Pennsylvania Station, located in the Long Island waiting room, or the Met Ticket Office at Grand Central Station, located at the foot of the Vanderbilt Avenue ramp. Say, May is National Tavern Month. An especially good time to visit your friendly neighborhood tavern and enjoy a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. The New York Mets send up Ed Cranepool in the top half of the 9th inning to face right-hand pitcher Bob Pollin with the score tied 3-3. And the pitch is high and away for a ball. Cranepool's been up 3 times, struck out all 3 times tonight. Pitch is in there for a called strike, 1-1. New ball is put into play here. Chris Cannizzaro is on deck. Larry Bernard is now throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Swinging a foul ball, backs it into the stands out of play, runs the count to 1-2 strikes to Craneville. Pollin, of course, is now the pitcher of record in this ball game for the Giants. Here's the pitch. High and away for ball. 2-2. Orlando Cepeda playing about 2 feet from the line and deep at first base and squared around a little on Ed Cranepool. The remainder of the defense is not shaded that direction at all. Pitch is high and away for ball. It's 3-2. Apparently he's going to protect that line all the way down. With the score tied here, 3-3. But that gives Cranepool a big gap between first and second. We'll have a payoff pitch coming here. Swung on and sliced foul into the stands out to the left side and out of play. The outfield defense of the Giants plays Cranepool straight away. Pollin getting a sign from Ed Bailey. Here's a payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, struck him out. Cranepool has struck out swinging 4 times tonight. Third strikeout for Pollin. That is the 11th strikeout for the combined effort of Pierce, Larson, and Pollin. One away, and Chris Cannizzaro coming up. He is 1 for 3. And right now, he is being called back, and Tim Harkness is going to bat for Cannizzaro. Tim Harkness is a left-hand batter, and he's going to bat for Cannizzaro. He has 2 home runs this year and 11 runs batted in. So Casey Stengel goes to the bench here in the top half of the 9th inning, a game that is tied 3-3, to try to get a little extra punch. Pollin with the pitch. Swung on and missed. It's strike 1. One man out and nobody on base. Pollin with the pitch. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. 4 strikeouts for Pollin. He has struck out 3 consecutive batters now. Shortstop Al Moran is coming up. Before he does, we pause for station identification.
810 on your dial, WGY Schenectady, a General Electric station. The time is 2:30.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Here's a pitch to Moran that's low for ball 1. Here's Pollin's pitch, swung on and fouled back. In 16 2/3 innings of relief work, Bob Pollin has struck out 18 batters, which is indicative of the kind of work he's been doing and why manager Alvin Dark has been so very pleased with his recent performance. Alvin's been looking for help in the relief corps, and he figures that Pollin is giving him the big job these days. Here's a pitch that's in there for a foul strike. It's 1-2. Score is tied. The Mets 3, the Giants 3. During that 16 2/3 inning, Pollin has given up 9 hits. But he's been tough for the Mets here tonight. Pitch misses low, and it's 2-2. a pitch, and he swings and misses. He tried to check it. Jocko Conlon says it's a strikeout. Moran protests, but to no avail, and Pollin has struck out the side, registering his 5th strikeout of the game. In the top of the 9th, the Mets no runs, no hits, no errors, none left. At the end of 8.5 innings, it's the Mets 3, the Giants 3.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
And now you can enjoy famous Rheingold Extra Dry in the new Chug-a-Mug. It's the first and only beer container with a wide mouth and a top that's so easy to open. Just pull the tab on top straight out, then straight up and off. You drink right from the Chug-a-Mug. No glasses, no opener, no deposits, no fooling. Chug-a-Mug holds the same and costs the same as the 12-ounce can. Buy it now wherever famous Rheingold Extra Dry is sold.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Chug-a-Mug is a new way to buy beer. Better get some today. Chug-a-Mug's what you say. What a great way to drink Rheingold beer.
Norm Sherry is catching now for the New York Mets. Cannizzaro, you'll recall, was removed for the pinch hitter. So, Norm Sherry is the catcher. Casey Stengel hustles back to the dugout, and there's a fan reaction here. Shortstop Jose Pagan will be up to lead off for the San Francisco Giants. Score time, 3-3. Pagan's a right-hand batter, grounded out short to first, called out on strikes and walks, so he's nothing for 2 and a walk officially. Galen Cisco, who started, has come all the way for the New York Mets. This pitch is in there for a call, strike 2 for Pagan. Gaylord Perry is throwing in the bullpen for the Giants with pitcher Bob Pollin due up next. Here's a pitch in there for a call, strike 2 to Jose Pagan. Craig and Bernard still throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. With 2 strikes on Pagan, Charlie Neal, who had been in even with the bag, retreats to normal depth at third base. Cisco with a windup in the pitch. Swung on as a ground ball deep to Neal at third. The long throw across. It's a low throw, and it gets by. Going on across the rolled up canvas and on the way to second. It's Pagan. He pulls up safely at second base. And there's his open throw, and it's going out into left field. Pagan is going on to third. So Jose Pagan goes all the way to third base. Charlie Neal fielded the ball deep behind the bag near the line. Had plenty of time, but threw low to Cranesville, well out in front of him. The errors are charged on that play against Charlie Neal and Ron Hutt. Because on the backup, the ball went on by Cranepool and hit the roll of canvas. It was in play. Cannizzaro was chasing it, and so was Hutt. Hutt was up with it. Threw to second to Moran, and that was a wide throw and went on out into left field, allowing Pagan to go to third with a potential winning run here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. So the Giants have potential winning run, and this is going to be Harvey Keene coming up to bat for Bob Pollin. Nobody out. Charge errors against Neal and Hutt on that play, which enabled Pagan to go all the way to third on a ground ball. Harvey Keene, one-time batting champion of the American League, has an average of 195 this season, been up 41 times and has 8 hits. He is a right-hand batter. The Mets, of course, have to pull the infield in here because they can't give up that run. If it crosses the plate, this ball game is over. This is the bottom half of the 9th inning. Galen Cisco on the mound, facing tremendous odds in this situation. Let's have the outfield in as well, of course, because they can't take a chance on the bloop, and here's the pitch in there. A call strike. The outfield is played at normal depth, of course, and a fly ball is back there. It would score the run and end the game anyway, so the Mets have infield in and outfield in. Cisco has a strike one count to Harvey Keene with the windup and the pitch, and it just misses outside. It's 1-1. Jim Davenport is kneeling on deck for the Giants. Al Moran getting instructions from the dugout about his position. Still not quite straightened out on it. Now he strides over a few steps toward the bag. Now the other way. That's the way they wanted him to go. A stride or two toward the hole on Harvey Keene. Here's the pitch. Swung on, it's a ground ball to second base. Hot up with it. There's no advance for the runner, and he's out at first. No advance for Gone. At third, representing potential winning run, making the ball be through, and it was not through as Horton fielded the ground ball to the right side and threw on to Cranepool. So there's one away, and that brings up Jim Davenport. Davenport has been called out on strike, lined to shortstop, walked with the bases loaded to drive in a run, and hit into a double play. Time called for a moment as Al Moran comes up from his position at shortstop. And now Jim Davenport is being called back, and Matty Alou is going to be sent up. Matty Alou is left-hand batter. He has an average of 125. Alou is announced. He has been up 8 times and has 1 hit this season. Manager Alvin Dark going to his bench here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. As the Giants move the potential winning run to third base on 2 errors committed on the one play. Galen Cisco trying to pitch himself out of trouble here in the bottom half of the 9th. Mets, of course, must continue to play the infield in and the outfield in. Cisco, of course, working straight away to the left-hand batter. Matty Alou works with the windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed. It's strike 1. Norm Sherry is the catcher. Alou settling himself into the batter's box again. Score is tied 3-3. Galen Cisco getting a side from Norm Sherry. Has it. Smooths out the dirt there in front of the rubber. Now, pumps and pitches. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1. One man out. Jose Pagan, the base runner at third. Cisco sets his cap on his head, has the sign. Starts the motion again. The 1-1 pitch to Matty Alou. And it's in there for a call, strike 2. Alou was backing up a little on a breaking ball, and Joshua Carlin says strike 2. It's 1-2. Tense moment at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The early morning hours in New York City. Again, Cisco starts the motion. Here is the 1-2 pitch to Alou. It's swung. It's a ground ball to Hutt. Charges the ball. No advance by the runner. Throw to first. He's out. No advance. Pagan is still at third base. Ron Hutt charged that ball to field it on the infield grass, keeping an eye all the while on the runner at third. That will bring up Philippe Alou, and Casey singles on his way to the mound. Casey's going out there now. Philippe Alou is coming up here. Casey wants to know exactly how Galen Cisco proposes to pitch to Philippe Alou. Philippe tonight has grounded out, lined out to short, hit into a forced play and popped to short. Jocko Conlon, the umpire behind the plate, walks out now toward the mound. Casey's still there now. He's satisfied. He turns and goes back to the dugout. This is the reaction to Casey's single. still have potential. Winning run at third base. But the Mets now can drop their defense back to normal depth, both infield and outfield, with 2 men out. Felipe Ballou with a batting average of .317 at the plate. Leads the Giants in runs batted in with 26. Galen Cisco winds and fires, has a swing and a ground ball deep in the hole. Moran has it a long throw, and he's out at first base. Moran had enough on that ball from deep in the hole over the crane pool, and Galen Cisco pitched himself out of tremendous trouble. So we'll be going to extra innings. In the bottom half of the ninth, the Giants got no runs on no hits. There were 2 errors and 1 left. And at the end of 9 full innings of play, it's the Mets 3 and the Giants 3. We'll be going to the 10th in a moment. Before we do, we're going to check up on scores of other games. Keep you posted on all the Major League activity of the day. Houston, Texas, John Snider part of the Phil 45s. It's the second National League no-hitter of the season against the Philadelphia Phillies. He did not shut them out because the Phils got a run in the 5th inning on a 2-base error, a sacrifice, and a sacrifice fly. Jack Hamilton, the loser, homered by Warwick and Goss. Milwaukee's scheduled at Chicago postponed because of rain this afternoon. Cardinals defeated the Cincinnati Reds 11-2 tonight. Rolio got his 4th win of the season. Joey J was the loser. Owens the 3rd. Saturis in the 5th. Dick Groton and Stan Musial homered in that game. And tonight down in Los Angeles, the Dodgers defeated the Pirates 9-3. Bob Miller, formerly of the Met pitching staff, was the winner with help from Scott in the 9th. Joe Gibbon was the loser. Earl Francis in the 6th and Tommy Sitz in the 7th. Frank Howard homered in the 5th with 1 on for the Dodgers as they now have won 9 of their last 12 games. And there is very little talk of Walter Alton being replaced or dissension on the Dodger club. The American League, the Yankees defeated the Angels 4-3. Boughton the winner, Mel Nelson the loser, Joe Pepitone drove in all 4 runs with 2 homers, and Leon Wagner drove in all 3 Angel runs with 2 homers. Kansas City A's defeated the Boston Red Sox 2-0. Bozefield the winner, Moorhead the loser. Chicago at Baltimore postponed because of rain. Detroit at Washington postponed because of rain. Minnesota defeated Cleveland 11-4. Perry the winner, Bell the loser. Bob Allison had 3 home runs. Rosales had 1, and so did Harmon Killebrew. All right, here are changes in the defensive alignment for the San Francisco Giants. Joey Amalfitano moves over to third base. Gaylord Perry is the pitcher. Ernie Bowman is the second baseman. And Choo Choo Coleman is batting for Cisco to lead off for the Mets in the top of the 10th. Score tied 3-3 into extra innings here. Gaylord Perry is a hard-throwing right-hander. Appeared in relief against the Mets yesterday when he worked 3 innings and allowed no runs on only 1 hit. Pitch to Choo Choo is low for a ball. So Casey Stengel has gone to his bench here in the top half of the 10th, batting for Cisco, who has worked 9 innings here tonight. Choo Choo tries to bunt it. It is a strike, 1-1. He was trying to drag that one. Roger Craig is the man now throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Gaylord Perry getting the sign. Pitch is fired low for a ball. It's 2-1. Perry is 24 years of age from Williamston, North Carolina. This is his 7th game appearance, all in relief. He has a record of no victories and 1 loss. Swing and a foul ball. It's 2-2. Charlie Neal, of course, on deck for the Mets. Choo-Choo swings the bat as he waits. Perry with the 2-2 pitch. High and away, and it's out full now at 3-2. Score tied. The Mets 3 and the Giants 3 in the top half of the 10th inning. This game was delayed for 34 minutes in the bottom half of the first inning because of fog and wind. Now we've got into extra innings, so a lot of baseball for you tonight. This morning, I mean, in New York. Here's a swing and a high pop. Back of first foul territory. Cepeda is there, has room, and he puts it away. So Choo-Choo has fouled out. That brings up Charlie Neal. Charlie's been up 4 times tonight without a hit. Gaylord Perry takes a moment to smooth out the dirt where he strides out there on the mound. You're keeping a scorecard for the Giants. Bowman will bat 9th and Gaylord Perry will bat 1st in the batting order. Here's a swing and a drive to right. It's going to be a fair ball and a base hit down the right field line. Neal rounds first and is holding there as Philippe Ballou comes up for the ball and whips it in. Charlie Neal punched that one down the right field line. So the Mets get a base runner here in the top half of the 10th with Ron Hunt coming up. Ron's 2 for 4 tonight. He had the home run over the left field fence in the top half of the 8th inning that tied this game at 3-3. Hunt's batting average right now is .317 for the season. His first in the major leagues. Long, lean Roger Craig throwing easily in the bullpen now that Galen Cisco is out of the ballgame for the Mets. Cisco worked 9 innings in which he allowed 3 runs on only 5 hits, struck out 6 and walked 6. Section of fans behind home plate have begun rhythmic applause on behalf of the Mets here in the top half of the 10th inning. They must have made the long trip in the Polo Grounds. It's in there for a called strike. 0-1 to Ron Hunt. Gaylord Perry, of course, is the 4th Giant pitcher of the evening. Pitch is low for a ball. 1-1 to Hunt with Cliff Cook on deck. Ron Hunt has taken a look down at Cookie Lavagetto, the sign man at 3rd. Neal takes his lead at first, and Hunt backs out. Jocko Collin calls time, and Hunt reaches down to get a handful of dirt to kill a little time while he looks down for that sign again. All right. Perry steps off the rubber, and Hunt steps out of the batter's box. Mets 3, Giants 3. Top half of the 10th inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Hunt. And the Cookie Lavagetto now is walking on down to get Hunt out of there. Have a word with him. But expect that they might be having some small difficulty with the signs. Meantime, Salihimas gets Charlie Neal off the bag at first. So the New York Mets have resorted to a coaching system of direct communication at this point. And Salihimas now is running across and is joining Hunt and Lavagetto. And Jocko Conlon has joined the group. Ron Hunt is getting a considerable amount of coaching at this moment. Jack O'Connell trying to break up the conference. Hema started back, cut across the infield, and was almost caught with a throw by Gaylord Perry. Had to duck underneath it. Lavagetta goes back to the coaching lines at third, looking in at manager Casey Stengel in the dugout. Count is 1-2 to Ron Hunt. Score tied, 3-3. Neal leads at first. Here's a pitch swung. It's a ground ball to first, and it goes by Cepeda off his shin in the short right. Neal is on his way to third. Bowman can't find the handle. Neal pulled up safely at third, and Ron Hunt is on at first base. It was a ground ball, and it's an error on Cepeda. Actually ricocheted off his shins and out in the short right field. So charge it as an error against Cepeda. The Mets get runners at first and third. Charlie Neal did not appear to be bothered by that sore toe in the slightest when he turned second. He was digging for third, gliding on with no notion of stopping. Bowman retrieved the ball in short right, picked it up, dropped it, picked it up again, but that did not affect any play that could have been made on Neal. The error is charged against Cepeda, and Cliff Cook is coming up with one man out. So it's the Mets now who have potential go-ahead run on at third base with one man out. Ron Hunt sent that ground ball to the right side. Neal was not running on the pitch. It was actually a hit and run as opposed to a run and hit. They had Neal ready to move, and he did on the ground ball, but had not moved on the pitch. Conference called at the mound now by Gaylord Perry and Ed Bailey. Score tied, 3-3. Top half of the 10th inning. Perry leaning way over to get his side now for the pitch to the right-hand batter. Swing and a miss. It's strike one. Ron Hunt, alert on at first, was taking a long lead. Of course, the thing the Mets want to try to stay out of, if at all possible, is the double play, and that's exactly what the Giants would like to come up with. Charlie Neal leads down the line at third. Pitch is swung on and fouled off. 2-strike count. Duke Snider is on deck for the Mets. Again, Bailey calls time and goes out toward the mound to check with Gaylord Perry. Ernie Bowman and Jose Pagan talking it over down there at second base as well for the Giants to see how they're going to play any potential ball that might be hit. There is absolutely no wind blowing right now. The flags are hanging limply. The flagpole's in center field. It's perfectly clear. There is no fog whatsoever. 2-strike count, and here's the pitch. It's way outside for ball. 1-2. On each return throw from Bailey to Gaylord Perry, Jose Pagan, shortstop, is coming over to back it up. They want to take no chances on a wide return throw, which might allow Neal to come in from third base. Runners at first and third with one man out. The pitch to Cook. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. That's the first strikeout for Perry. And it will bring up Duke Snider. The Duke had the first Met hit of the evening in the top of the fifth. It was off Billy Pierce. Since then he has walked twice, so he is 1 for 2 and 2 walks tonight. Strategy meeting at the mound. Amalfitano, the third baseman, is there. Pagan, the shortstop, is there. Bailey, the catcher, is there. Looking into the dugout and nodding affirmatively, doubtless to some query from manager Alvin Dark. So the Duke is coming up with Jim Hickman on deck. Bailey taking his position behind the plate. Gaylord Perry taking his time on the mound. Up and into the stretch. And here's the pitch. It's far. It's a ground ball to second base. Ernie Bowman on a big hop, and he plays up to Cepeda, and the side is retired. So the Mets make a bid, but can't push it across in the top half of the 10th. As they got no runs on one hit, there was one Giant error and 2 Mets left. At the end of 9.5 innings of play at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the Mets 3, the Giants 3. And now, a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
Now pitching for New York, number 38, Roger Craig.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy in San Francisco, and the Mets have brought on Roger Craig now to pitch. Galen Cisco went 9 innings in which he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 of them homers, one by McCovey and one by Mays. Struck out 6 and walked 6. Craig has a record of 2 victories and 4 losses this year. This is his second relief appearance of the season. Roger worked in a starting role against the San Francisco Giants on the 4th of May at the Polo Grounds. He worked 4 1/3 innings in which he gave up 9 runs on 9 hits. Willie Mays is up to lead off. Willie had 1 for 4, but that was a big homer in the bottom half of the first inning. Score tied 3-3. And he is hit by a pitch ball. Willie Mays grabs his left arm, rolled back and forth there in the batter's box, holding his left elbow where the ball appeared to strike him. Alvin Dark comes out of the dugout, and so does Doc Bowman, and they're examining Willie Mays, who was hit in the left elbow with a tight pitch. That will give the Giants a leadoff runner here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. It will represent potential winning run. Willie McCovey and Orlando Cepeda will be coming up. Willie is still being given attention right there by the batter's box. As he was hit the dirt and then grabbed the arm and started rocking back and forth there. Umpire Frank Walsh has come down from 3rd. Umpire Ken Burkhardt has come down from 1st. And right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
810 on your dial, WGY Schenectady. It's 3 a.m. by the General Electric clock.
San Francisco, Willie Mays is up on his feet now. Starts on down toward first base. Doc Bowman going a hard way with him, and Willie's okay. He's going on down to first. So the Giants bring up Willie McCovey. He had a home run in the bottom of the first. He struck out swinging in the 3rd. He walked in the 5th and grounded out to first base in the 7th. Early Neal on the edge of the grass in 3rd on big Willie McCovey. Willie Mays leads off the bag at first as Ed Cranepool holds against the runner. Roger Craig up and set and throws over to first, and it's not in time. out in time. No count is yet to McCovey. Pitch to the plate. Misses outside for a ball. 1-0. The second time this season that manager Casey Stengel has used his ace right-hander Roger Craig in relief. Here's a pitch in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Orlando Cepeda is waiting on deck for the Giants. Bottom half of the 10th. Mets 3, Giants 3. Craig now is set. Mays leads off first, and here's the pitch. Swung on. It's a ground ball to first. Taken on his short up by Craneville to throw to Moran. He's out to throw back. He's out. Craneville making the 3-6-3 double play on McCovey, and that is the 39th double play of this season for the New York Mets. Ed Craneville, the rookie first baseman, pulling off the 3-6-3 double play, which is the tough play for the first baseman. Slick as a whistle, and with 2 men out and nobody on, Cepeda's at the plate. Well, it's a new day here in San Francisco as we have passed 12 midnight. Of course, it's been that in the New York area for 3 hours. Here's the pitch to Cepeda. Swung on and lined to short, taken by Moran, and he's out. A line drive to shortstop Al Moran. And in the bottom half of the 10th, the Giants got no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left at the end of 10 full innings. It's the Mets 3, the Giants 3. Well, the New York Mets will be here again, well, it's actually this afternoon now. And they'll be in Los Angeles for a doubleheader on Sunday. Monday's an off day. Tuesday night, be in Los Angeles, and again on Wednesday night. Thursday is a travel day, and then the Mets will open up Friday night against the St. Louis Cardinals. Saturday afternoon against the Cardinals, and a doubleheader against the Cardinals a week from Sunday. The Mets will be at home against the Chicago Cubs on Tuesday night, May 28th. Wednesday is off, and then the Memorial Day doubleheader against the Cubs on May 30th. Tickets are now on sale for those games. This is the longest game of the season for the New York Mets. As we go to the 11th inning. The Mets will send up Jim Hickman. Struck out 3 times and walked once in tonight's ball game. Through 10 innings, the Mets have 3 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. The Giants have 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. Perry gets his sign from Ed Bailey. Pitch is fired tight for ball 1 to Jim Hickman. Giants were off to an early start in this ball game tonight as they got first inning home runs by Mays and McCovey. Added another run when the run was walked across. Swinging a ground ball to third. Amalfitano takes it deep, throws on across in time. And a safe call at first base as Cepeda came off the bag, and he doesn't know it yet. And now, Jim Burkhardt indicates he did not have his foot on the bag. He nonchalanted it at first base, and Hickman is on with potential winning run. He nonchalanted it, and Hickman is on at first base. It is an error on Cepeda at first base for nonchalanting it. And the Mets get the leadoff man on here. And that will bring up Ed Craneville. Amalfitano fielded the ball and threw it over, and Cepeda simply took it in an easy motion coming off and lifted his back foot, strangely enough, and did not have it near the bag, and the safe call was made sort of easily and quietly by umpire Ken Burkhardt. So here's Craneville. He's been up 4 times tonight, struck out swinging all 4 times. And the pitch is swung as a ground ball to the right side. Hickman goes out. He is forced at second. He held up. to evade the ground ball and perhaps to cause a little trouble to Bowman. Bowman fielded it and whipped and fired on over to Pagan. To force Hickman, there was no play on Cranepool. So Cranepool has replaced Hickman as the base runner at first with one man out and Sherry coming up. The ground ball to the right side. Hickman held up until the ground ball was by and then was forced. Sherry's first time up in this game. Pitch to Sherry. Is in there for a called strike one. Giants have an infield now of Orlando Cepeda at first, Ernie Bowman at second, Jose Pagan at short, Joey Amalfitano at third. Perry comes set. Here's the pitch, and it is bunted, foul. Coming back into the stands and out of play. Al Moran is on deck for the Mets as Norm Sherry squared and bunted the ball. It's strike two to him now. Sherry looks down to Lavagetto. Steps in. Meanwhile, Gaylord Perry is working on the baseball. Cranepool leads. The pitch to Sherry is a strike, and he is called out. Fired the fastball past him, and it's another strikeout to Gaylord Perry, his second. Two men out. Cranepool at first. Now Moran's coming up. That is the 15th strikeout by the combined San Francisco pitching effort. Here's Moran, 1 for 4. He had the base hit in the top half of the fifth inning, which broke the ice for the Mets. Scored a run, and when McCovey allowed the ball to get by and left, another run scored for the Mets. 2 runs scored on the play. Moran credited with 1 run batted in. Now Perry's set. Pitch to Moran's in there for a called strike. Score is tied. The Mets 3, the Giants 3, playing in the top half of the 11th inning. Just a little breeze stirring. Not a great deal. Here's the pitch. Swung on as a ground ball to short. Pagan is over up with it. Throws on the run to Cepeda in time, and he's out. And the side is retired. In the top of the 11th, the Mets got no runs, no hits. There was 1 error and 1 left. And at the end of 10.5 innings of play, it's the Mets 3 and the Giants 3. Well, you know, it's a big, wide, wonderful world we live in. There's so many ways to enjoy life. Boating, golf, tennis, swimming, picnicking, listening to early morning baseball games. You know what goes with all of that? Why, sure you do. Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. It's the wonderful beer to enjoy on a wonderful day. In fact, Rheingold makes even ordinary days seem wonderful, and it's the flavor that does it. The extra refreshing flavor that is Rheingold's alone. And dry tells you why. Rheingold's way of brewing is long, slow, and costly, but it pays off in taste. It gives Rheingold the happiest taste in beer today. But why not find that out for yourself? Next chance you get, open up or order up fine, cold Rheingold. Discover why millions say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Discover why Rheingold is New York's largest selling beer. Bottom half of the 11th inning. The Giants send up catcher Ed Bailey. He is 1 for 4. Roger Craig is the pitcher for the New York Mets. Here's a swing and a ground ball to first. Cranepool up with it's going to make the play unassisted, and he does. So Bailey grounds out to Cranepool unassisted at first base. And that brings up Joey Amalfitano playing third base now. He has walked single, and was called out on strike. We've had 3 home runs in this game. First inning homers by Willie Mays and Willie McCovey of the Giants, and an 8th inning homer by Ron Hunt of the Mets. Hunt's homer tied it in the 8th, 3-3, and that's where we are now. Roger Craig starts the motion. Pitch to Amalfitano. Is outside for ball one. Wind stirring a little more stiffly now out toward right. Throughout the evening it has come and it is gone. Swung on, it's going deep to left. Could be out of here if it stays fair. It's going, and it is a home run for Joey Amalfitano. And now a protest is being lodged over whether it's fair or foul. The Mets are ganging around third base umpire Frank Walsh. Casey Single's on his way out. About a half a dozen of the Mets are ganged around Walsh, protesting that it was a foul ball. And he now is shoving a ball player out of the way. He's shoving Snider out of the way. Snider saying that it was a foul ball, and he was shoved aside by the umpire. The Mets still protesting, and manager Casey Single following on across. Roger Craig arguing with Walsh. Pellicudis also there. And Norm Sherry is arguing with Jocko Conlon. This one was right down in the left field corner. And now Craig says to Conlon, ask Pellicudis. And now Conlon is in the midst of the argument. In the middle of the infield, but it is gone for a home run for Amalfitano. The Giants, of course, completely off the diamond. Joey Amalfitano's first home run of this season. Snider now is there with Jocko Conlon pointing down to the left field corner. Craig is pointing on down, but Jocko is walking on down, and so are the New York Mets toward the clubhouse entrance as Amalfitano has won it in the bottom half of the 11th inning, as the New York Mets fought back from a 3-run deficit to tie it up 3-3, but they have seen it go glimmering here. Roger Craig, of course, takes the loss as he gave up the home run ball to Amalfitano with one man out. There was one man out when the winning run was scored in the bottom half of the 11th inning. The Mets will be back at the Polo Grounds against the Cubs on Tuesday night, May 28th, a doubleheader on Memorial Day, holiday twin bill. On May 30th, tickets are now on sale. We'll be back in a moment with the final summary and totals. Right now, the final score of this game is the Giants 4, the Mets 3. Well, here at Candlestick Park, in the Mets' longest game of the season, the Giants have won it by a score of 4-3. And to tell you something of how they did it, here's Ralph Kiner.
Well, the Mets came into this ball game looking for their first victory in Candlestick Park for this season, and they missed by inches. A home run, a very disputed home run by Duke Snider in left field, winning the ball game for the Giants by a score of 4-3. The home run by Amalfitano was his first home run of the year, and it gave the Giants their second victory in this 3-game series. Totals on the game, the Giants 4 runs on 6 hits. They made 3 errors. They left 7 on. The Mets had 3 runs. They made 6 hits. They made 2 errors also in the game, and they left 7 men on base. The winning pitcher in the game was Gaylord Perry. It was his first win of the 63 season. He has lost 1. The losing pitcher, Roger Craig, his record now 2-5. Right now, I'd like to remind you to enjoy Viceroy cigarettes in familiar soft pack or new slide top case. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now this is Ralph Kiner saying so long for Lindsey Nelson, Bob Murphy, our statistician, Matt Winnick, our producer Joe Gallagher, and for Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. Those 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold is beer should taste. Why Rheingold is preferred by more New Yorkers than any other beer. Rheingold is brewed from the very choicest ingredients. Brewed the long, slow, costlier way for flavor that is brisk and bright and clean, clear through. So fill up your glass with an ice cold, refreshing glass of good Rheingold Extra Dry. Final score of the ball game, in 11 innings, the Giants won it by a score of 4-3. So long, everybody. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.